Hi, so my name's Andrea Wright. I'm a local artist here in Mackay. I work primarily with acrylic paints and resin. I just wanted to show you today a little tutorial on paint pouring. Now this is something that you can do at home with your children. It doesn't need to be expensive, so you can go to the thrift store, the dollar store, you can get yourself some poster paints. They're usually a good consistency to go pouring with, and if you wanted to make it a little thicker, you can do that with PVA glue. So this is something that you may already have in your home. Today though, however, I'm going to be using, this one. I find this is a really good medium. It goes a really long way and it will last forever. This one I've had for about 2 years now. And the paints I'm using with these are global. So you get these ones from the Riot store. They're not expensive, but they are a really good quality paint. They're really high pigment, very flowy, very runny. So that's a high flow, and it mixes great with the Atelier pouring medium, which is really, really thick. So this is good. You don't need to use water. You just use a lot of this paint in there, which is great. So today I'm using sand. I've got another one here, Bora Bora, this one's called, so that's going to keep in with the sort of ocean theme that I'll be doing today. I've got a bit of phthalo blue in high flow. With these ones, they are a bit messy. You can see you need to put your finger over the top because the tops get all clogged up. We give them a really good shake inside. You'll hear when you shake them that they've got a ball in there, so the pigment settles, so you need to give them a really good shake before you're using them. I've got some pearl medium, which I've popped into my blue, but I'll talk to you about that in a second. And just because I like a little bit of contrast, I've got a tiny little bit of the quinacridone magenta. So there's just going to be a hint of a colour in there. So I mixed up my paints last night. And the reason for that is when you're mixing, you will find that you're going to trap a lot of air bubbles in there. And you don't want that coming out on whichever surface you're pouring on. They will dry with divots in, and it's not a great finish. So when you're mixing, it's best to leave them for at least an hour to settle. They will last a long time provided they're sealed properly. I've got Glad wrap over the top of mine, so they're nice and sealed. So I'll open these ones up and get started. So the mixing sticks as well, they're just paddle pop sticks. I think you can get a bag of 100 for something like $4 or $5. It depends where you go. But what I like to do when I'm mixing, I keep the stick and I just write, because I've mixed this blue, it's got another blue, and it's got Deep Seed, which is also from the Global range. And it's given it a really nice deep blue colour that I was looking for. So keep your paddle pop sticks, they're good colour references. I've done that with all of mine. You just keep hold of them. So I mixed up my medium. Now, getting that to the right consistency is the tricky bit. If you've got it too thick, it's not going to dry properly. It'll dry too thick and it'll crack and you'll have all sorts of problems. If it's too runny, it's just going to fall off the edge of your substrate and you're going to lose those beautiful designs that you spent a long time trying to create. So today I am just going to do these, they're lids. So I've got a pack of 4 of these beautiful little tubs. So there is a bottom which I've left inside. So we're just going to be doing the lids of these ones today. Pack of 4 for I think it's about $5 from Spotlight or something like that. So some of them I'm going to leave. I'm going to let the paint come down the side and let that design stretch around there. And some I've taped off the edge. I don't know if it's going to work, but no loss. We'll give it a go anyway. Right, so like I said, I've mixed all these up last night, and the consistency you're looking for is like pouring cream, so or warm honey. Can you see how that falls off in one big string? There's no gloopy bits or anything like that. And I don't know if you can see, where's my camera? You can't see, but there is iridescence medium in there, so that's got a beautiful sparkle to it. So you should feel a little bit of a resistance when you're stirring there, not too much, but that is the perfect consistency. That's what we're looking for here. I'm going to do a couple of designs. I haven't decided, we'll just wing it. So that they will all be what we call dirty pour. They'll all be these colours in one cup. I haven't decided whether I'm just going to do a flip cup or puddle pour. I don't know yet. Let's just get these out, hey? All right, so I've got these little shot glasses. Again, really cheap, reject shop. Sometimes I like to keep a bucket of water by me because as soon as I've used them, I'll stick them in the bucket of water, rinse them out, and we can use them again. But I'll show you, when we've poured them out, they leave beautiful patterns in there, and I've got a really clever friend who does things, amazing things with recycled plastic. So I might actually just keep these ones with all these pretty colours and their layers, and she can have them. She'll make something amazing out of them. So yeah, I'm talking about you, Margaret. So I'm going to start off, we'll do one, I think I'm going to do a little tree ring pour. So I'm going to turn the camera and I'm going to face my hands. I've got a really dodgy setup here, so just bear with me. There's my setup. Can you see that? Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's my cup. So I'm just going to pour a little bit. Actually, I'm going to start with the light one. I want the light one on top. So whatever colour you pour in your cup first will be the colour that comes out last. So you need to figure out which one you want to be the predominant colour in there. And then we'll put a little bit of this one in, a bit of this iridescent blue in there as well. I'm going to put this one in. I don't want too much of this. I just want it to be a little tiny hint, just a small contrast. That's all I want, just a tiny drop, it's not a lot. And pop a bit of sand on the top there. I might just put another little bit of this blue in, just because it's my favourite. So that's just layered in there, can't really see much. Okay, so I might put a little bit, whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. Move everything else out of the way. This one is my taped off one, so I'm just gonna do what they call a flip cup now. So just turn that upside down. We're gonna leave it for a little while. So my setup there, you can see that I've got empty yogurt pots. These are also great. You can use these. I use these for my resin as well. You can reuse them. They're flexible. You can peel the resin right out of them. Just leave that a little while to... Can you see the beautiful patterns that are happening around the edge of this cup now? I just think that they'll be, I don't know, make a nice little chandelier or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, so slowly lifting up one corner, let a bit of the paint out, and then little spiral. I do like to drag it across a little bit. Makes interesting patterns. You can keep that cup. So in there's not a lot to see at the moment, but we're going to give it a little tilt. On the bottom here I've got baking parchment. This is great. So any paint that runs off the side will make a great skin. So you can peel it straight off here when it's dried, and it's great for a collage for a future project. So I'm going to start tipping these now. Now I do have an additive in this, which means cells should start popping up. Can you see how it slowly pours? Now I might go and get my torch actually and see if those cells are going to come out. Give it a good tip and it stretches your design, which is beautiful. And if you don't like what you've created, I actually quite like this. Go ahead and pour a little bit more over the top. That is nice, I like that. I'm going to stop for a second, get my torch. Okay, I'm back. I have my torch. I also have plenty of tissue. It's been a while since I've done this, so I haven't got all my stuff together properly. Okay, so we've got this there. My torch, I use this more for resin, so I know it looks huge and it probably is a bit overkill for this project. It definitely is, but my creme brulee torches just don't work, and this is the only one I use, so do this at home, do it outside, don't do it inside, or maybe just don't do it at all. But let's see when any cells pop up. Can you see that instantly? Look at all those cells that just came up. Just a little brush over of heat. Creme brulee torches are better for this. You don't want to over torch it. You don't want the paint to form a skin on the top. That's the last thing we want to happen here. But can you see how, just pick this up again, paint everywhere. All those beautiful cells that have popped, and you can just see a hint of pink in there, which is just gorgeous. Yeah, I'm happy with that one, so I'm just going to put this over here. We're going to leave that to dry. Now the thing with this particular pouring medium, it takes a long time to dry. That's the only downside. We'll be 2 or 3 days sometimes waiting for projects to dry out. So next one, I don't know, we'll go for the dark blue on top again because I like it. I'm going to do a tree ring pour this time. Bit of green. Bit of sand. Can you see? Just have a look, see if you can get an idea of the consistency there, what it should be. Nice, thick, warm honey-like. I'll go for a bit more blue. Don't think I'm going to put a pink in this one. I'm just going to keep it simple. All right. So let's see if I can get closer so you can see what I'm actually doing here. So this one is going to be a tree ring pour, I think. So we'll start. Just doing small circles, take your time. That noise, I'm sorry, that will be my husband having a fight with the ice cube tray. Actually surprised my dogs haven't started barking. They bark at anything. Yeah, can you see how pretty that looks? Even inside there, look at that. It's beautiful. I'll save that one. Okay, so no tape around the edge of this. Just going to pick this up. Now I like to try and keep a uniform shape, so what I don't like to see in pours is when somebody's stretched it all off one side so it looks like it's dripped off one side. I don't like that look at all. So try and keep your tilting uniform. Take it all to the edges first. And then once your edges are covered, you can start letting it drip off the side just to keep, look at that. Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, I like this one a lot. Okay. Bring it back that way. It's really hard for me to try and do this and make sure that you can see as well what's going on here. Tree rings are probably my favorite pour. You've just got so much detail. Now I won't be torching this one purely because I think you can do too much with acrylics. You can overbake them, as I call it. There is enough design, patterning, intricacy in this without adding cells to it all, as you'll get the cells and then you lose all of these beautiful waves and these ribbons. So just dabbing the ends there, just making sure that everything's covered. I don't think this one will end up giving me cells anyway, so I'm not going to torch it. Sometimes cells will appear, it does have the additive in, but I'm just going to leave that like that. I really like that. I wish I'd done this in more chocolatey colours actually, that would be beautiful. Oh well. Pop that on my yogurt stand to dry. Okay. It's very messy, by the way. I will be scrubbing this out of my fingernails for weeks. Should have worn gloves. Anyway, so next one. a bit of sand. I might put a tiny bit of pink in this one. Bring more contrast on my blue. Can you see the iridescence in that? I don't know if the light's right for you to see. I don't even know where my camera is. There we are. Don't know if you can see that. Anyway. Bit of blue. Might do a bit more sand as well. You'll notice I'm not actually filling the cups up. You don't need to, it's only a tiny little surface. Why waste the paint? So these ones you can put into little bottles and that'll stay good provided you've given it a good airtight container. All right, a bit more sand, I reckon. Actually, I'm gonna go and get some white. So when I am pouring, I generally use a lot of white. So this is all pre-mixed. I've got this, it's titanium white and medium. It's a huge bottle, it's 1 litre. This has been mixed for 2 years now. I haven't poured for a really long time, so I've still got this and it is still good. It will last forever. It's a good quality archival. Archival, paint archival medium. It will stay good. It's still white. It's not going to crack. It's not going to fade or yellow or anything. This medium is excellent if you were looking to create to sell. Anyway, so we'll go. I gave this a really good shake yesterday, so all the air bubbles should have come out of it by now. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip a little bit of white on there. Moving it around, just give it a different background, that's all, and help the colours to move. Well, what you'll find, I don't know if you can see, if you have got your pouring medium direct on a dry surface, as it tilts, it rolls. So sometimes you lose your pattern. But when you've got a white base down, what you'll get when you pour is the pattern will keep, but it will slide rather than rolling and curling under itself. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but when you have a go, you'll understand what I mean. Play, by all means play, just keep experimenting, doing all the different things and different techniques, whether you use a base or not. And some people like to get their cup that they've poured into, give it a little stir. It's not something I've ever done, or maybe I should, I don't know. So for this one, I'm just gonna, I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna start on the outer edge here and see, I really like that pattern, but I'm tempted to torch it before I tilt it. I'm gonna torch it. Just have a little look, see, I'll get this in the best place for you guys to see. Watch how quickly these come out. Done. That just blows my mind every time. It's so fun to watch. Anyways, I'm going to pick it up now. So I've torched it before tilting, and there's a reason for that. It works better when you're doing this on a larger substrate, but when you have torched and you've got these gorgeous, gorgeous cells, I'm going to stretch them now, and they become so much more pronounced. Can you see how big they've become now? Just stretching them. Look at that. How cool is that? Here we go. This is awesome. I really like that one too. I'm going to do another one of these tomorrow, I think, but tomorrow I'm going to wear gloves. It's all learning. So what am I going to do for my next one? I think I might just use, I don't know. I really like the way the pink has come through the sand colour there, so I'm going to go with a white again. Get that one on. Empty cup. Put white in there first. I think I'm going to keep monochromatic with this one. I'm just going to do the two colours. Blue, white, a bit more blue, a bit more white. And blue. And I'm going to finish with blue. But the last colour that you pour in is going to be the first one down. So I've already got white there as a base. So that one will be there. So sometimes you just got to do it and hope for the best. See, this is my favourite. You can see the veils. Can you see that? You can see the white through the blue, and trying to keep that separation and not mixing your paints up too much, over manipulating them. You want those veils, you want that delicacy. You mix it up too much, you lose that delicacy and you end up with a muddy mess or an overcomplicated piece of work that's, I just feel that sometimes the eye needs somewhere to rest. So we try and keep it simple, but you know, that may not be you. You might like very, very busy work. That's just gotta, you be you, you do you. Last of my torch. Just a few cells, nothing too over the top. All right, we'll start with the tilt now. This piece would have looked nice actually with some gold. I might do that tomorrow. Maybe that's what you can do. Give me some colour suggestions for tomorrow and we'll do some more. I've got some squared little tubs that I'll start on tomorrow night. And there we go. Just a few small, very messy acrylic paint pouring. So once these have dried, which will be, well, hopefully tomorrow morning, but I don't count on it. It's probably going to be more like tomorrow evening. I'll take pictures of them and we'll show you the afterwards. So thanks for watching. I hope you do this at home with your kids and you have a lot of fun, very messy fun. Have a big bucket of water there and plenty of kitchen towel, if you can even buy this stuff anymore. And have fun. Thanks. Just do a little close up on some of these. I think this one is my favourite. But look at the cells in that. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching, everyone.